Here we go. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yep, I'm live, and it is a special day. And glad to be here with all of you on April 21st, 2021. And while I wait for a couple people to pop on, uh, oh, good. Anyways, so great to be here. This month has just flown by. I cannot believe it. It's so interesting. I've tried a couple of times to go do some things out in the field, a couple of community spotlights. However, my schedule hasn't allowed me to do so. So that's okay. That's a great quality problem, right? Because I'm so blessed to have work and to be able to work for such great people. So, which reminds me, as I look at all the people that I'm serving right now, they're pretty much all repeat clients. So, thank you all for your support and, of course, referrals. And I really appreciate it. And I'm coming to you, Nancy Yonner, from the heart of the home. And I am with Keller Williams, Love to List. And I like to do a weekly show where I get to connect with you. And today I am going to be sharing something more personal. I've done lots of things. I've interviewed businesses, local businesses. I've talked about the real estate market. I have done some cooking demonstrations. I've done some things to show you what you can do with your home. I did a great bookcase, got a lot of great feedback on how to do a bookcase. So uh, I've also shared my heart with you and shared some amazing people. And, over the past year, um, my father passed away, and that was a really hard time, and still grieving from that so much. And when I thought about it today and talking to you about my daughter, Jen, as you may have seen, it was her 40th birthday today. And I was thinking about my dad and I was thinking about her because they actually physically share a lot of similar attributes. So they are both dark skinned, have that nice tan look all the time. They both had dark hair, beautiful brown eyes, and Jen and my dad have something in common, and that is the fun factor. One of the things that I love about Jen is that she really is a lot of fun. She provides a lot of fun in her family. She brings a lot of joy to others. She's a very thoughtful person, and she does so much for her own little family, her extended family, her extended families, her friends, her community. She sprinkles joy um, in so many different ways, and hence the joy sprinkler, right? So that's one of the things I love about Jen, and I love sharing things like that with you about her. As you know, I placed her for adoption. So that was 40 years ago. I was 16, and it was a very challenging time. And all adoptions can be or have different layers, right? And everyone in that adoption story has a different perspective, different point of view, and a lot of emotions. So for me, thinking that at the time this was the right thing to do for Jen, and to have her have a better life, and then the parents, oftentimes parents adopt because they aren't able to have children. So there's those emotions, and so how blessed they are to be placed as a beautiful baby girl. And then you have the adopted child who wasn't really her choice. So there's a lot of emotion involved with adoption. And there's other types of families that have emotion too. If someone's divorced and they have a blended family and having to blend kids. So there's all kinds of different, or where someone's lost somebody and someone gets remarried. So there's all types of situations where people blend. So not every family, have a couple and kids and just grow up. So it's adoption is complex, and it's also very beautiful. And so it's kind of interesting because uh, Jen, we reunited when she was 18, and because I had what's called a closed adoption. And oh, hey, Katie, nice to see you. I really appreciate you popping on, and thank you for your comment earlier today. Um, so anyway, so when Jen and I reunited, it's kind of funny because before we reunited, I had met my husband at the Old Brogue in Great Falls. And Jen was living in Great Falls, and her family we're probably going to the, oh, hey, Vicky, we're probably going to the Old Brogue at the same time that I worked there, but we didn't know one another. So that's kind of an interesting and small world, right? And to think that I met my husband there and that Jen and her family were there way before I was reunited. So that's kind of a special little aspect of our story. And I'll never forget reuniting with Jen because Marie, her beautiful, lovely mom, drove her to Great Falls Park to meet me. I was all by myself. And so Marie drove her to Great Falls Park. Jen had these flowers for me. And then she got out of the car and she came over and we hugged and hugged and hugged and hugged. And then Marie drove off. And I always thought that was such a beautiful thing, right? To have Jen's mom just kind of place her in my arms that day, not knowing really too much about me. We had done some exchange of letters because I had placed Jen at the Barker Foundation, which is a company over in Maryland, Washington, D.C. And I actually later on in life was very involved and did some work in support groups there, and was on the board for a while. It's a wonderful organization. But anyways, Jen and I, we weren't allowed to physically meet because we started writing prior to her 18, and those were the rules. So anyways, when her mom dropped me off, it's a moment in time that I'll never forget. And just as when I placed her for adoption, that I'll never forget that. It was a very challenging time in my life, but I had so much support and so much love around me that I was able to do it. And so that meeting, that first meeting, was really emotional. And then we visited for a couple hours, and then I dropped her off at her home. And there I am sitting in their family room, and they're asking me all kinds of questions, and nothing was like not allowed. So you can imagine three women talking about life and family and growing up and different things that come about, different questions that they had for me. So that was a really special day. And so since then, we've had an amazing relationship, and just there's just so many wonderful things. Jen has really taken a liking to my parents, and she would go and visit my dad on his birthday, and she just really appreciates them, and they've been good for her, and she's been good for them, because you can imagine how my parents felt when we placed Jen for adoption. So, and Jen has a really nice family. Her mom, as I told you, she lives in the same community as my sister Deb does. So, very close by, and I enjoy Marie so much. She is a very supportive, consistent, steady Eddie in Jen's life. I really don't know what Jen would do without her. So I'm just so grateful to Marie. And so yeah, so there's a lot of adoption actually in my family. So I'm the only birth mother, and that's something I wanted to talk to you about because I hear these conversations throughout my life where people feel very comfortable saying that they've adopted, or someone might say, yeah, I'm adopted. You don't have a lot of people going around, hey, I'm a birth mom. So it's something that I've had to learn to let go and just be very comfortable with, because I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of the reunion that we've had, because it just doesn't happen like that. It takes a lot of intentionality, a lot of love, a lot of respect, a lot of communication. And so, and I know, having been part of Barker, that not all adoption stories are positive or have this beautiful story that we have. And I am forever grateful, especially because, well, just on that, I'm grateful. Jerry and I weren't able to have our own family either. So I've had a lot of grief in that area of my life, right? So it's like a blessing, blessing, plus, 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 if you will. So I really loved talking to anyone who wants to talk about being a birth mom. I'm happy to talk to anybody. It's a difficult conversations to have with people, but like I said, I'm open and very grateful to have Jen and to celebrate her birthday today. And it's just, Jen is very strong, very courageous person, and I have learned so much from her. And she has four beautiful kids and a wonderful husband, and she teaches yoga to the youth, which is so special. And she's in class trying to get a degree. So she is smart, she is courageous, she is fun, and she is the best Joy Sprinkler I know. So happy birthday to my daughter Jen, and thanks everyone who has supported all of us over the years. And as I said, we have a lot of adoption in my family. Both my brothers adopted. One adopted twice, and the other one time. So I understand that it's a special, special thing to be a part of. So I think that is all that I wanted to say. The only thing I can say is that if anyone is in the process of reuniting, although a lot of adoptions are open now, I certainly, there's like three things that I think are key, and that is always remembering the premise is the child. Of course, it's about the child, and the love, right, and the heart and the soul around that, and the mutual respect, right, and keeping open, honest lines of communication. And it's amazing what can come out of those three things, right? So anyhow, next week, I think it's the 28th, right? And I'm hoping, because I've tried twice this month to get out in the field and show you do a community spotlight. So that's my goal next week. I've got some interviews lined up in May, and then I'll be on the road in May. I'm really excited. I'm going to be going up to Minnesota and spending some time with my mom. So anyways, in the meantime, as I always say, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling. All right? We'll see you next week. Love connecting with you. Thank you for letting me share my story and a part of my heart. Take care.